everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm the author of the fantasy novels Essence and I Am Mercy and thriller novel She's Not Here, as well as the creator of AuthorTube Academy, and today we are talking about how to write the ending of your NaNoWriMo novel. So hopefully if you took part in National Novel Writing Month, you are very, very close to hitting your goal of writing 50,000 words, as well as summing up your novel and being able to close the book on a draft 1. Now what I do want to make a note of is word count. So the goal of National Novel Writing Month is indeed to write 50,000 words. And to be considered a novel does have to be 50,000 words. However, the standard novel you see in stores are about 80,000 words. Usually at least 80,000 words, and can go upwards as much as 150,000 words depending on the genre. So with that said, a lot of the times when you're writing your novel, even though you're almost at the 50,000 word part, you aren't quite to the end of your novel yet. Now to kind of give you an idea of word count versus page numbers, I'll help you kind of figure out how many words a book on your shelf may be. So usually your standard book, so I'm gonna take Hunger Games for example, usually your standard book, one page like this is about 250 words. So if you want to figure out how many words a regular published book is, you take the amount of pages. So for Hunger Games we have 374 pages in the Hunger Games. So I'm gonna do some simple math for you guys. 374 times 250, because on average there's about 250 words per page, and that leaves us with a 93,500 words in this novel. Now you'll notice this novel isn't a super thick novel. So with that said, 93,000 words versus 50,000 words is a pretty big difference. So I just want you guys to know, those who are taking part in National Novel Writing Month, even though you may be very close to writing about 50,000 words, you are only at about the 200 page word point. Because if we're taking 50,000 words, dividing that by 250, you're about at 200 pages. So in the Hunger Games, for example, you'd be at a book that is about this thick. Now sometimes you do see books about this thick, but they're more of a rarity. They're not common. Usually if you want to tell a story successful, you do need about 80,000 words, and 80,000 words is about 300 pages. And if you start looking at books on your shelves, you'll notice most books are about 300 pages. So that is actually what you tend to want to aim for. And that is, of course, if you actually plan on publishing your novel. Now, if you don't plan on publishing your book, then go ahead. Write as many or as little words as your heart desires. But if you're planning on publishing, you do want to try and aim for industry standard, which is usually somewhere around 80,000 words. 9 times out of 10, usually more, sometimes less. Okay, so with that said, if you are trying to write the ending of your NaNoWriMo novel, please know that you will usually need to extend past November to write the ending of your novel. You'll need to write into December, January, however long it takes you to get to the natural ending of your book. So there are a few different paths you can take if you would like to finish writing the ending of your National Novel Writing Month novel. If you're feeling burnt out, but you still know that there's somewhere this story needs to go, what I suggest doing is somewhere, whether it's at the end of your Word document or it's in a separate notebook, take notes on what you want to happen next. Now this doesn't have to be anything fancy or extensive. You can literally just write bullet notes. This is something I do all the time. Whenever I'm finished up writing for the day, before I just sit down and stop, I actually write bullet points of what I want to start writing tomorrow. That way when I sit down, I kind of know where I left off. But the same goes for if you're taking a longer break, because NaNoWriMo does does leave you feeling burnt out by the end of the month. So one of the solutions to that is by indeed taking a break, but you don't want to just stop writing. You want to kind of make sure you know where you left off. So take as many notes as possible. If you want, make a mini outline of the rest of the novel. That way you don't come back later and feel lost, like, oh my god, I forgot what was supposed to happen next. Because that would be a bummer, and we don't want that to happen. And then when you are taking a break, make sure you keep a notebook on you at all times, because you never know when inspiration is gonna strike. Now, most writers do tend to keep a notebook on them anyways, but this is especially important when you're taking a break from your novel, because a lot of times when you're writing, you can feel burnt out, the inspiration doesn't come, but once you start taking a break, the inspiration starts coming naturally and the juices are flowing, and you don't want to just forget whatever brilliancy you come up with. You want to make sure it stays written down. Now, when it does come to taking a break, don't take a break for too long. What I recommend is that instead of taking a break, you just lower your word count goal. So instead of, say, writing 3,000 words a day, just tell yourself you only need to write 1,000 words a day, and make sure that you realize it's okay to take a break. Like, you only need to write 3 days a week or 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week. But if you absolutely are feeling overpressured and overworked, it's okay to take a break for a few days, but honestly, I don't recommend taking a break for more than a week, because you won't feel as inclined to go back to it. And not only that, when you do go back to it, you're gonna have a harder time jumping back into the story again. So it's always dangerous sometimes when you're really into a novel to take a break for too long, and take it from someone who has learned multiple times the hard way. Now, if you aren't feeling burnt out, you can indeed keep writing. Whether you keep writing just by lowering your word count goal, or if you've formed this amazing habit and that now you have this habit to write 3,000 words a day, because that's an amazing habit to have, and an easy habit to break. So if you have it and you've got a good grip on it, just roll with it. So my recommendation is to just keep writing, keep the habit flowing, and to keep pushing until you get to the end of that novel, and let the words flow until you feel like you've reached a natural end. So I hope that was helpful for all you guys. Let me know in the comments down below what the word count is of your current NaNoWriMo work in progress. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please let me know or request future videos. As always, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.